Well, Danny, I appreciate you taking the time right now. We're doing a pop-up interview because I personally had some questions about HempFusion. I know we did the interview with Jason last year. I know that some investors, I've seen some questions from them as well. So you're really close by. I know COVID's going on and everything like that. We wanted to do an in-person interview.
It feels weird.
It is. It's the first
weird.
that I've done.
I'm excited though.
A long, long time.
Me too. It's all been over Zoom. It's all been over the phone. It's all been everywhere but in person. So I'm excited. I love having this. I'm glad to have you in my personal circle now.
Hey, love it, my good man. Well, I appreciate it. And we got some questions here. I went out to investors as well because they had some questions. And I want to start with the first one because obviously the last time you did a raise, it was a while ago. It was almost like 16 months ago or so.
Correct.
What happened to it? Why did you push the IPO well, right now it's going on. We'll talk about it in a second, but why the delay? Why the 16 months of time?
Yeah, so what we ended up doing is we had a plan to come out in October of last year, but obviously I think everybody knows that the market was just absolutely falling apart from all the way back to March last year. And the reality is we do not want to come public at a time like that, right? So the markets were terrible in October. We pushed it back 6 months and we said, okay, we're going to do it in February or March. February or March came. Obviously, COVID was just about to start exploding in February. So we said, okay, let's kind of play this by ear. But sure enough, market sell-off accelerated. Everything kind of fell apart in the markets. And we said there's no way that we are bringing out HempFusion right now to IPO. So again, we said, you know what, 6 months, we're going to push it back. We're going to push it back until the next window, which is going to be October, November. And that's the reality. October, November is the best time to IPO. Second best time is going to be February, March. So we always want to be in either one of those windows. And this time we said, you know what, let's do it for October, November. We're going to line everything up throughout the summer and we're going to get it prepped. So it works well for us. We've got stimulus hitting the markets right now. We've got an election year, which is always exciting for the markets. We've got the large cap US MSOs that are profitable, doing very well. And the trickle down effect to a smaller company is great for us. So you see that all around. And I think we've really hit the timing on the head. So we're going to bring it out for October, November. And well, it's going to be November now because it's obviously midway through October. But yeah, listing in a couple of weeks.
Very exciting. What's interesting about this one, I've never seen this before, but you're doing two different rounds. I know every time you do a financing, there's always something that investors may not have seen before. It's kind of like that's your signature almost.
Yeah.
But you're doing two different rounds. You're doing the common share round and the unit offering. Can you first describe those two, and then why did you do two?
Exactly. So I'll describe them. Yes, the first round is going to be a common share offering. The second round is a unit offering. Very unique. We haven't tried this before with our team. But it allows a couple things. So first of all, it allows an investor optionality, right? You can buy the common share, which is free trading, but you can only invest up to $10,000, right? Then you've got the unit offering, which is not free trading. You have a 4-month hold, but for that you get a half warrant that's tradable right away, tradable for 5 years, right? So you're giving somebody that optionality of which one they can invest in. It's exciting, it's fun, it's a little bit different. But what it does for the company is it allows us to protect our capital structure. We're not met with any excess people that want to sell on day one on the IPO, right? Typical IPOs are entirely free trading. Yep. What this does is it allows us to stagger all of our free trade dates. So we have a little bit free trading on the IPO. We have a little bit coming free at 4 months from the unit round. And then we have some of our privately issued shares coming free trading at the 6-month mark. Some of the other ones are held up for 1 year. And then some of our warrants come free trading at 18 months. So we've really structured that across a whole bunch of different free trade periods so that we can protect our market. And that is priority number one for my side of the business on the public markets, is we never want to be met with too many shares at once. So we've really structured this in a unique way that allows investors optionality, but also protects the company and allows it to finance in a successful environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking about share structure, it's so important when it comes to a company, but also is share price. And one of the questions I've got to ask you, since it's on people's minds, is the last time you did that raise, it was at $1.25.
Correct.
You're currently now doing between 90 cents, I think it's $1.35. Yeah. Why the lower price though? Over this time, what happened during that time to say, hey, this is the price that we're going to go at?
Well, I got to bring it back to the first question you asked me, which is why the delay, right? So when we closed our offering, it was a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, Charlotte's Web was $28. It's now $4. That's down 90%. Our second biggest competitor, CBDMD, they were $6.50. They went down to 50 cents. They've rebounded since, but that's still, they're down 85, 90%. The fact that we might come out flat, I think is great. right? That's not bad at all considering the market. Secondarily, what we did is we priced our warrant on that financing. We gave a free trading warrant that was allowing investors to participate at a 15% discount to the IPO price. So having that free trading warrant attached to that last financing actually makes this still a very incredible financing for people, right? That warrant has 40 to 45 cents of intrinsic value immediately on listing. So the fact is you are going to have, it's probably not even, you're likely going to make money on that, right? Because you got that value on the warrant, it's free trading. Maybe the stock does well. I think it's going to do very well. So we see a stock that goes to $2 or $3. You can immediately calculate what that intrinsic value becomes on that warrant, right? It's going to make this financing still very attractive.
Absolutely. And speaking of financing as well, we're going to continue with the questions, because one of the biggest things a lot of these companies are worrying about, especially the cannabis space, hemp, whatever it is cash. Cash is king. Everyone knows that term. But right now, especially, cash is very, very important.
Exactly.
You've already got some cash in hand. I know I saw some emails going out to investors and things like that. But after this raise, what is going to be the cash position of HempFusion?
Well, we raised $42 million last year, right? So we were very well funded. We still have $18 million in cash right now as of June 30th. Once we close the IPO, we're raising $17 to $19 million now. So we're going to have between $35 and $38 million, call it, of cash post IPO. So we're going to be the second most funded, second highest cash position company in the entire CBD industry.
Fantastic.
That is going to allow us to do a lot of pretty incredible things.
Yeah, and speaking of incredible things, you're helping me go from one question to another, and you're not even meaning to. We want to talk about the financial parts of HempFusion, getting ready for that, but let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about what is HempFusion after all this time. It's been 18 months or 16 months since the last raise, but you guys have been working on this for quite some time.
Elevator pitch.
What is the company as of today that's going to be going public? Can you explain that really quickly?
Absolutely. HempFusion is a leading CBD brand in America and international, in one sentence. We've really spent the last couple of years just absolutely dialing in and laying the foundation for the company. And that, we've done an incredible job on that. We've got over 4,000 stores selling our products. We've got 46 products on the market now. We've got an incredible team that we've assembled. And we are just kind of breaking down barriers everywhere that we go. So the fact is we've spent the last couple of years laying this foundation. We've got the products, we've got the distribution, we've got the team, we've now got the capital, and now it just comes down to scaling that business, taking it international, and really pushing ahead hard for 2021. And that's exactly what we're doing. We've positioned it very well going forward, and everything is really starting to come together. But the biggest thing on this side of the company that I want to point out is some of our products. Yes. So we've just launched these new OTC topical products that are an absolute game changer. And I say that because there's only about 5 or 6 companies that have gone through the 2+ years of compliance and regulatory approvals to get the products. The several $1 million, right? There's a lot of CBD companies that haven't gone through things the right way. It's so easy to white label a product and throw it on a website, do a DTC model where you can sell it online. But to do things the right way and to get products into the FDM channel, Food and Drug Mass, that's the biggest channel by dollar value that is out there, right? The biggest. That's your Publix, that's your Walgreens, that's your Kroger's. These are the biggest stores in America, and that is where we want our products. That's where we want our products focused in that retail channel. So for us, we're one of the few companies that actually have those products available to be sold into those channels. And now we've just launched in Publix. We've launched in the 5th largest FDM store out there. Now, all of Blue Sky, a big portion of Blue Sky, comes down to launching in other channels, other stores within that channel. So, Kroger's and Walgreens and Costco's, these are all the major stores that we're looking to get into. We're talking to them all. Anyway, so exciting. That's where the big kind of push is going to come for 2021. And yeah, that's kind of a bit on HempFusion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that because there's a lot of CBD companies out there. Anyone who's watching this has seen them. There's a lot of ones there's some great companies out there too, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of the ones that had all these, they put all of whatever they want on these products on the packages. They said they would help with this. They said one thing I always found interesting about HempFusion that Jason really, really puts an emphasis on is that all these products, there's a reason why you're in all 50 states,
right? Because
you're not making any folk claims. You're not making any different things. It's actually there. That I think makes you guys stand out.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of these OTC topical products. They're over the counter and they're actually drug listed. They're drugs, which means we can apply. We can actually say specific things that they do. So we have 8 topical products, and we've got, I think there's four or five of them are for pain, right?
Yeah.
We can actually say pain because they have menthol in them, right? It's for that. We've got an eczema relief product. We've got an acne product. We've got a wound care product. We've got other products for sleep, stress, and energy, right? So you can actually have claims on the products, which not many other companies can do. And I want to give you a quick example. Charlotte's Web just bought a company called Abacus earlier this year. Abacus has a well-known brand called CBD Medic. They sponsor like Gronkowski, and that brand, the primary reason, and Dean Elsner said this, CEO of Charlotte's Web, the reason they bought it is because they have those OTC drug listed topicals. It takes years to develop them. So the fact is this is a huge differentiating factor for HempFusion, and part of the main reason that I think that we're going to be one of the top 3 companies left standing once these FDA regulations start to come down on all the CBD companies.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that detailed answer and all of that. And you were saying that it's one of the reasons why you think it's going to be amazing. We talked about expansion within the United States, but there's also international as well. We were talking earlier about your wholly owned company, Probulin Probiotics.
Yeah.
And you said the exact words were, it's your Trojan horse. What does that mean, and why is this also a very important part about your company?
It's a very important part about the company because it's not only a massive differentiator for us, it's a massive differentiator for us. And the reason it's a differentiator for us is because we are allowing ourselves access to become what's called an approved vendor in all these different retailers, not only in the States, but around the world.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is an approved vendor is somebody that's already approved to distribute products within a retailer. So if we're going to the different Walgreens and Costco's and all these different stores in the States, and we have a product line that doesn't necessarily contain CBD, it allows us to make that relationship. We can get on the store shelf with a product that's not as regulated as CBD. And you take that to other jurisdictions around the world. You can take that to India, which we have purchase orders in. You can take that to South Korea, which we're selling in right now. You can take that to China, right? You create those relationships first with a different product than CBD. You create it with probiotics. And then once you have different regulations that kind of evolve in those areas, bam, you can hit them with different CBD products, right? So it works as a Trojan horse strategy to get us all these different retail points of distribution. And when CBD is legalized, we can just kind of move in there.
Very nice.
Everything's set up, right?
So yeah, it's also they trust it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Now, for investors who are watching this and they're getting excited, maybe they're already an investor, maybe they're thinking about investing. What are those near-term milestones? What are the things that an investor right now should be excited about and be looking for once you go public?
I think there's a few things here. So first of all, one of the biggest things for us is going to be, we've got 30 products under development right now. So entering new products into the market is number 1. Number 2 is going to be entering new channels. So further penetration into the FDM channel and further penetration into the convenience channel. Part 1 leads to part 2. Part 1, we've got gummies that are just launching. So we're very excited to get these CBD gummies into all these different convenience stores. I mean, for me, I'm always buying random stuff at the checkout counter. So you have a 10 milligram gummy with 20 gummies or 10 gummies at the checkout, for $9.99. It's it's an attractive purchase price, and it's a good thing for point of sale impulse buys. So I'm excited to enter the convenience channel with our gummies. So new products, new distribution channels, and then third is going to be, I mentioned this before, but with the FDM channel, we want to be in food and drug mass at scale. COVID's obviously hurt. So one of the things that we did is we hired a fellow by the name of John Visser on January 1st. He knows every single large retailer in America, every single one of them. He's worked with them in the past. He has personal relationships with all of the buyers at these stores. The first store that he closed for us was Publix in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
So now John is, we're taking the handcuffs off. COVID is we're able to have more meetings, get into more stores now in the States. So the big catalyst on that front is going to be getting into more FDM stores. It's going to be Albertsons, it's going to be Kroger's, etc. And I'm going to finish it off with the fourth thing. The fourth thing is going to be taking all of our products international. We're already doing it with Probulin. Now it comes time to taking HempFusion products international, where we should be in Ireland and the UK very shortly, and expanding from there. So 4 immediate term catalysts that we can look for that I think are pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I recall correctly, and I'm pretty sure in the EU, CBD is a health supplement. So unlike when in the States and everywhere else, we always have to worry about Schedule 2 drugs and all that. I can imagine that makes it a lot easier to enter these barriers.
Well, in the EU, yes, there's a couple of tricky things with like the UK market. I mean, you've got novel foods coming in April, which has to be dealt with. But effectively throughout the EU, the rule of thumb is if it's below 0.2% THC, and it's you can sell the products, right? As long as it's not in certain products. And there's outliers as well. Like if you look at France and Norway, you can't have anything over 0.0% THC. And there's some other weird outliers, but that's the general rule of thumb. But yeah, the EU is going to be an incredibly huge market for us with HempFusion. We want to build this into a global CBD brand, right? And that's exactly what we're doing.
Fantastic. Well, hey, for anybody who is watching this, as I show them, including Canadian, I'm sure many Americans will be watching this. Yep. But for anyone who's watching this and they want to invest in this, who's allowed to and who's not? Sure. What were those different things we can talk really quickly to end off the interview?
Okay, so again, there's two financings. So we've got the free trading portion that has up to $10,000 max that you can invest. In Canada, you can be non-accredited to buy that.
Like that.
In the States, you have to be accredited still. The second offering, you've got the 4-month hold round that comes with a free trading warrant. Both are priced at the same price. The free trading warrant round, again, if you're in Canada, anybody can buy that. It's not accredited. It's a prospectus offering. In the States, you do have to be accredited. Internationally, you have to be accredited. But the best way is to contact us directly. We try to be an inclusive company, right? We want to have as many retail shareholders as possible. We already have 1,750 retail shareholders from the past financing that we did when we raised $46 million last year. We want to add another 1,300 on the IPO to get us over 3,000. So again, we're an inclusive company. We like to open this up to everybody that wants to be involved. We've gone the extra work. We've spent the extra money to make sure we can do that without alienating anyone from the States. We to participate from the US, you can do that as well. You just have to be an accredited investor. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it's easy to understand, but we should be trading in about 2 or 3 weeks time on the TSX, big board, senior exchange. Guess what our symbol is?
What'd you get?
And I reserved this about 2 years ago, so I'm proud of this.
So you had it the whole time?
I had it the whole time. CBD.
Fantastic.
CBD is a symbol, so
it's going to be very easy to remember.
I'm excited for that. Yes, and big board IPO. So I think we've it's all coming together now. We've really spent the last couple of years laying the foundation for the company. Now we've got the products, we've got the distribution, we've got the team, we've got the cash, we've got a senior TSX listing coming. We've got all these different milestones that we're looking to achieve in the next 6 to 12 to 18 months. So I think it's it's an exciting story, but I'm looking forward to getting public.
Absolutely. And if for any reason people are still confused, you are so curious, the entire time we've given you the information of how to reach out. Always feel free to reach out, get your questions answered. My good man, I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
Doing this interview. We won't shake hands because we can't do it anymore, but I'm loving the fact we were able to do this in person. We're going to the elbows there. My good man, welcome. And good luck for everything coming up in the next few weeks.
Thank you, Brandon. Thanks very much.